I would say eyebrows are pretty important, don't you think? All right, you can tell I don't have mine done quite just yet. They're not bad. I have some, but the shape of them isn't quite what I want. So whether or not you have a lot of brows, whether you have sparse brows, thin brows, bushy brows, whatever, we're gonna talk about some tips today on how to get the look that you want. Today I'm gonna show you a couple different options on how to fill in your brows. So we're gonna talk about filling them with a pencil, and then we're gonna talk about filling them with a pigment. So we're gonna start with the pencil. The biggest thing about filling in your brows is finding your landmarks. So what I want you to do is take a pencil, any type of brow pencil, and set it right next to your nose and make it go all the way straight up. This is going to be where your eyebrow starts. So you can see mine comes in just a little bit extra. You're going to get a pencil that's kind of about your hair color, maybe just a little bit lighter because you don't want it to be too dark unless you're blonde, and then you're gonna want to do probably your root color. So here is our precision eyebrow pencil. It's very, very thin, which is great because that gives you the chance to make very short strokes with the pencil. And on the other side is this nice little spoolie brush. And with this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna brush your eyebrows up. Oh, I've got a sad little girl today. You can't hear it. You're gonna brush them up, and then you're gonna start right at the bottom where your hair is coming out. And you're just gonna do light strokes. And you're gonna line the bottom of your brow. See that? And then you're gonna come up and just make hair-like strokes in the direction that your hair is growing, just to fill those brows in. So like I said, finding your landmarks is important. We kind of skipped that a little bit. So you're gonna take that pencil, that's where your eyebrow should start. Then you're gonna take the pencil to your nose and then connect it to the corner of your brow, but you're gonna come to the corner of your eye as well. And this is where your eyebrow should end. Now, if you want to find your arch, I don't have very big arches, but you can see where it kind of comes up a little bit. You're going to take the pencil and go right through your pupil. So looking straight ahead, so you can see my arch is right where it needs to be. Now, we're going to go to the top of our brow, and this time take that spoolie brush and just brush those hairs down a little bit. And then you're going to lightly line the top of your brow. Our brow pencils are great because it doesn't take much. And then you can go back through with that spoolie brush and push those hairs back up. And the nice thing about this brush too is if it gets too dark, you can just blend really well with that. So see the before and then after. Makes a huge difference. Now, another option that we have to filling our brows is using a pigment. And what I mean by that is taking any kind of shadow, eyeshadow, say like our palettes here, and using that to fill in your brows. It's super easy, and if you mess up, you can just rub it off and you're good to go. I really like using our Addiction eyeshadow palette in number 4, and I use the color Brave. And we have a few different eyeshadow palettes that you could use if Brave is too dark for you. So what I do is I take this angled shader brush, and you can see that it's got a nice angle, so it helps to work with that. And then what I do is, what you can't see, is I have a cup of water here, and I just dip that in there. And then I go ahead and I take some tissue and just kind of blot it so it's not sopping wet. I can't talk today. And then what I do is I just go in and I press it into that color. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to come in and you're going to line the bottom of your brow. And I just press lightly. And I line the bottom and come all the way across. And the reason I get this brush wet before I apply it is that it applies a whole lot better, the pigment applies a whole lot better when it's a little bit damp, and it helps me to work the product in a little bit more. So I haven't put my brush back into the eyeshadow yet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that product up so that it's not just sitting right there in a big line. And this helps it look a little more natural, because we don't want to look like a crazy person, right? All right, so I'm gonna go in. I haven't added more water to it because I don't want the color to be as dark the further up I go. So I'm gonna go back up and I'm gonna lightly line the top. And just work that product in there. And just fill that brow. So the nice thing about using a powder or a pigment color is that it's not as harsh sometimes. So you see the lines of the pencil are a little bit more precise and dark. And these ones are a little more faded. So it just depends on what kind of look that you're going for. And if you wanted these to be a little bit darker too, you could always wet that brush again and get those lines to be even darker. So if for some reason you get to this point and your brows are darker than you want them to be, you have a few options. You can go in with a powder brush and just kind of go over them. You can go back with a spoolie brush, it's fancy, and just work that product in a little bit more. So I hope this helped you, and I hope if you have any other questions about eyebrows, please don't hesitate to ask, all right? Thanks, guys.